My name is Steve and I bought 9 broken PS Vita handhelds to see if I can fix them. I've got them all right here in the box and packaging. Let's take a look and see what I got. Now most of these I haven't actually taken out of the box to look at. I did open the box to see what all I got and make sure it matched what I bought on eBay, but I haven't taken a close look at them to see what all was wrong. And these ones actually I haven't opened at all. These 4 came in a lot of 44 broken handhelds that you'll be seeing in a different video, but I decided since I've got all these to fix, I might as well just add these into this video. This video is one that some of you have been asking about for a long time, so I hope you enjoy. Our first PS Vita, let's see what it says. Start and select, no response. So that's number 1. This one has no markings at all on it. This Vita says it will not turn on. This one is also in decent condition. Charging won't work, won't power on. Well, I can already see this one has a bad charging port. And this one also has good sized scratches on the screens, but not too bad. Busted screen, no power. I don't like seeing broken screens as those screens are pretty expensive still. So hopefully not too many have a broken screen. Now we have these 4 Vitas in here. So all of those were all 1001 models. Let's see if we have anything different here. This is a 1001. No markings as to what's wrong on that one. Here we have a 2001. Also no markings on this one. And it looks like another 1001 here with no markings. And here we have a 2001. So there is all of our 9 broken Vitas. Now I need to plug them in, see if they charge, see if they power on, and see what problems they have. I'm gonna start by inspecting the charge port. This charge port is bad. This charge port is bad. That one's good, that one's good. This one I need to look at a little more. That one's good. I think that one's good, and that one's good. Let's take a closer look at this one. And this charge port looks to be okay, actually. This one is definitely bad. You can see the shiny pins and kind of the busted up middle plastic piece. And this one is bad as well. You can see over here on this side, there's a chunk missing out of it. So that is an indication of a faulty charge port. So the first 2 have faulty charge ports. I'll take a look at those in a minute, but I want to look at the rest and see if any of them charge or any of them turn on. Now, while looking at this one, I did notice it looks like there's some cracks in the screen right up there. I don't think it's coming through on camera, but this one looks to have a faulty screen as well. So PS Vita number 3, will it charge? Will it turn on? Let's find out. Got a red charge indicator right here. That's good news. So I'm gonna check all these for charging, and then I'm gonna need to leave them charging for probably an hour or 2 just to get them charged up enough to test and see if they turn on. But let's check the rest and see if all of them charge. Oh, I think I can see a screen. Yep, this one's got a screen issue for sure. And it says wouldn't turn on. Well, it wouldn't turn on because the screen is bad, so hopefully that's the only issue with this one. But once again, I gotta let it get charged up to see. And here's number 5. Charge symbol on the screen. I don't see anything that would indicate a faulty LCD, so I just got to let this one charge up. There's definitely a couple bad screens in there, but it looks like most of them at least take a charge, at least as far as we can tell. So I need to get them all charged up and then we can test them further and also maybe get a haircut. I got all these PS Vitas charged up. I got a very trendy haircut. Now it's time to figure out what's wrong with them. So the first 2 PS Vitas have bad charge ports, so we'll look at those in a little bit. I want to look at these ones where I don't know for sure what's wrong with them and see if we can figure out exactly what's going on. Number 3 power's on fine. I'm going to test all the rest of the functions and see if I can figure out what the problems are. So far, number 3 is looking great. Number 4 has a bad screen, so we'll do that one later. Let's move on to number 5. So number 5 has a note on the back, start and select no response. So we need to test those buttons first and see what we have there. No, it does not. So that does seem to be the problem with this PS Vita. So I'll record that here and move on to the next one. Once we have these all diagnosed, then we'll move on to the repairs. Here we have Vita number 6. Let's see if we can figure out what's wrong with this one. Judging by the look of it, looks like maybe there's some fluid that got in it. I don't know, let's see. I mean, so far everything looks fine. Oh, hey, this is cool. This already has a memory card in it. So we got a free 8 gig memory card with this one. So after messing with this one for a while, I think the only thing wrong with this is just the X button's a little bit sticky. It mostly feels normal, but sometimes it'll get stuck right there. So I think that's all we need to do with this one is repair this X button problem and we'll be good to go. And here's number 7. This is the white PS Vita. Let's see if we can figure out what's wrong with this one. And this white one has firmware 3.63. That's a little bit more valuable as those are hackable, according to the little bit I know about these. So I've tested almost every function on this white PS Vita and also found no problems at all. Let's move on to number 8. And number 8 is one of our two 2001 models. And this one is disgusting. But let's test it and see what else we can figure out is wrong with it. Okay, and I see the problem with this one right away. This left analog stick really jumps around. So that definitely needs to be replaced. But let's see if there's anything else that needs to be replaced. So after checking everything else on this PS Vita, it looks like that's the only problem. Let's move on to number 9, which is another 2001. Ah, we have the exact same problem. Okay, so we got another left analog stick. I'm going to test a few other things on it right away to see if there's anything else it needs, and then we can get to all the repairs. So out of this lot of 9 PS Vitas, 2 of them are already working great with no problems found. I need to get those cleaned up, so then they'll be ready to sell. Now this stack of 7 PS Vitas all need various repairs, so it's time for all of our favorite parts. Let's take them apart. The price per unit of these PS Vitas averages out to $33.50. If you go on eBay and look at the solds, they're selling for anywhere from $85 to $110 each, a few of them a little bit more than that. My potential profit on each of these is $50 if I don't have to buy any of the expensive parts. Replacement screens are $25 each, charge ports $12 each, batteries $8 each, and the rear case is $12 each. So as long as I don't have to buy too many of those parts, I should come out pretty good on this lot of PS Vitas. This charge port has a bunch of jammed and broken pins up in there, so we'll need to heat it up so we can get it out, and then solder the new one on. This charge port is fully installed, soldered on, and cleaned up, and now it's ready to be put back into the PS Vita. So we have number 1 all repaired, but did we do the repair correctly and is it going to charge? Let's find that out now and see if we can make any profit on this one. So what I want to see is this PlayStation logo turn orange to indicate it's charging. Let's see if it does that. Yes. So far number 1 is fixed. We have the charge port replaced. Now I need to let it charge up and see if there are any other problems. Let's move on to the next PS Vita. And here we have number 2. We have a burned charge port and a bad screen. Now it's kind of hard to show it on camera, but one of these pins right here is actually melted. So this indicates possibly it drew a lot of extra voltage and caused that to melt right there, but I don't know for sure. Let's get this apart, look at the motherboard, and then if we think it's fixable, then I'll replace the screen as well, and then we'll have this one up and going. Now we have the back off. I don't see any obvious problems so far, so I'm gonna get the rest of these pieces off, get the motherboard out, and then we'll have a closer look at it. You'll notice this one's a little bit different than the one before because it is the cellular model of PS Vita. Now I have the motherboard out, and so far I don't see anything suspicious at all on this board. You tell me as you look around if you see anything in the comments section. You guys have helped me with a lot of repairs through your comments, so I appreciate all the comments you leave there. I don't see any obvious problems at all. What I do know though is these melted pins inside this charge port are very melted, and in fact it looks like some of them aren't even there anymore, so I do need to replace this. So I'm going to get that replaced, and then we'll put this motherboard into a new screen, add all the parts on, and then we'll see if it charges. I've got the charge port on the motherboard replaced. Now we need to get rid of this bad screen and use the new screen and put all the good parts into this front screen. So on Vita number 2, I'll replace the charge port, and then we also replaced this front panel that had a good screen in it. At least I think. I did use a used one, so hopefully the screen works. Now I'm going to plug it in and see if the charge indicator comes up, and then after it's charged, we'll see if the screen turns on. And here's number 4. We've got another one with a bad screen, so I'm going to get that replaced next, and then we'll test it and see if there are any other problems. So for Vita number 4, the screen has been replaced. I'm going to plug it in and make sure it charges, and then see if we can turn it on. Okay, we got the charge indicator. Let's see if this will turn on. And there we go. So we do have a good screen. Now I do want to note this screen is not in the best condition. You can see it's got some pretty deep scratches right there. This actually was one I just had in my inventory. I had laying around from a different PS Vita that I took apart. This type of screen probably worth about $15 or $20. So overall, as long as this Vita tests out okay the rest of the way, I'm looking at a profit of $25 to $30. Now I'm going to look at Vita number 5. It's got the start and select buttons that aren't working, so I need to get the back off and check out this board here and also the buttons underneath the board. So here's that board. Both of the buttons seem to press fine. So I don't see any major problems there. So we need to take a look at this button pad itself and then the buttons too. They're definitely really gross. This one's actually pretty clean. I don't see anything that would cause them to not work though. So probably the best thing to do is replace that green board that goes right here. I'm going to take a little bit closer look at it under the microscope and see if I can see anything at all, but I'm guessing that I'm going to need to just replace that. I think most likely it is somehow internally damaged, so I will replace this and then we'll see if that'll fix it. And here we go. This is the test. Is it gonna work? Oh no. So what does that mean? This tells me that, wow, maybe there's a problem with the ribbon cable. Maybe there's a problem on the motherboard somewhere. The green board that I put in there could also be faulty. I don't think it is, but it is just a part that I had here, but I don't know 100% that it works. So I might be able to get away with just replacing that green board with another one, but also we need to take a better look at the motherboard and that ribbon cable. So I have number 5 to look at again, and then we have 3 more PS Vitas to look at. So far I've fixed 5 out of the 9. We've got 3 more that turn on and work fine. They have minor problems. So we'll get to those in a minute. Let's see if we can fix number 5, and then I'll get to the other 3. So as I was taking this back apart to replace this board again, I noticed what looks like liquid damage. But I can't really tell from this side of the board. What I'm actually guessing is I think someone probably went through and cleaned all the liquid damage off, because this was missing one screw on the back, and it looked like maybe someone had cleaned some stuff off of this board, the one that I pulled out of it first. So I'm gonna take this motherboard out so we can take a look at the backside and see if we can figure out exactly what's going on here. Okay, what do you think? Are we gonna have major water damage? Let's look. And no, we're not gonna have major water damage. There definitely is some liquid damage there, but nothing really that looks that bad. It seems like any corrosion is focused around this area of the board. I'm gonna take the shield off so we can have a look under it, see if there's any corrosion under there. Well, there we have it. I actually don't see any liquid damage under that shield at all. This is the connector it connects into. Nothing is corroded there, and nothing is corroded around this area on the other side of the board. So maybe the only issue was just that I had a bad board in. I put a used one in place of the one I knew was bad. So it is possible that that one was bad. So I'm gonna try another board that I'm pretty sure is good, and we'll see if that one works. Here we go. This is the moment of truth. Do you think it's gonna work? Please work. No. Unfortunately, so far, number 5 is not fixable. Leave me a comment if you think you know what might be causing this problem, and maybe I'll be able to revisit it. But for now, let's move on to PS Vita number 6. Number 6 has a sticky X button, so let's get that taken care of real quick, and then we'll move on to the next two. So here's that green board. We've got some sort of, I don't know, a piece of plastic or something under this one, so that could definitely cause a problem just in itself. One of the cool things about PS Vitas is all the buttons actually kind of like attach onto these button pads. You can see this. So this is the X button right here. You can see all these buttons have a bunch of grime built up on them. So I'm gonna get those all cleaned up. Then we'll clean out the areas where the recess into the shell, and then we'll put them back on and inspect this button pad. That feels way better. These buttons feel amazing. They're nice and clean, not sticky. And the X button feels very responsive and it doesn't get stuck anymore. So for number 6, I just need to put it back together, and then we can get to the two 2001 PS Vitas. Number 6 is all back together and all the buttons and everything else is working great. I can expect about a $50 profit on this Vita since I didn't need any parts or anything, and it was simply a matter of loosening a sticky button. Now let's get to the two newer PS Vitas. These two PS Vitas are both the PCH 2001 models. This one is disgusting, so I've got to get it cleaned before I can do any repairs on it because it just looks gross. So I'm going to get that cleaned first, and then we'll get the analog sticks replaced. Don't forget to wash your hands, kids. That's disgusting. Now, since these are upside down, we need to replace this analog stick and this analog stick. Looks like we just got a couple screws. We got to remove this board. Then we can get to the analog sticks underneath. You can see this analog stick is just disgusting. I'm guessing a bunch of this junk got down inside of it, and that's what's mainly causing the problem. So probably if you have this problem, if you carefully clean and try and clean up inside this stick right here, you actually probably could get it working again. I'm gonna go ahead and replace them just since I've got them open, but you might be able to get away with just cleaning them, and that might get you going for a while. So PS Vitas number 8 and number 9 are also gonna be fixable with probably about a $45 profit each. So once I get this entire lot of PS Vitas sold, I'll be looking at a profit of probably around $300 to $350. I'll put a playlist up on your screen if you want to see me fix a whole bunch of more broken stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good one.